Oh boy, here we go. If you can see me, give me a second, because just like the first time, I'm trying to figure this out. Let me see. And today I don't have my wife here to help me. Oh. I don't see any image. Okay, I have to flip the camera. All right. Okay. All right, I think this is working. All right, I'm sorry that it took a couple of minutes there of just dead space. My laptop, I'm gonna put it off maybe in the back somewhere. I also have this phone here where I can read your comments. But give me a second, I'll figure this out. Today, at least I got it to go horizontal faster than last time. Okay. Yeah, this is working. Now, how do I see if there's comments? Let me see. All right. All right, I see Kent is there. Hello, Kent. All right, let me put some of these things off to the side, and then we'll get this thing going. Okay, so the laptop, I don't know, do I even need it? I don't know, maybe I might need it. I know it's not gonna look great right there, but maybe I'll just leave it there off to the side. Yeah, that's okay, it's far back enough, it doesn't look hideous. All right, so Kent, I am unprepared as to what we're gonna do here today. So hopefully some other folks will join in. If not, it's you and I, bud. So we can brew, pour over. I'm ready. I have third wave water in the kettle. It's hot and ready to go. The Flair 58 is not hot, but we can turn it on and use this, make espresso also, or maybe try a soup or something like that. As far as grinders, well, we have the Niche Zero and Niche Duo ready to go back there. I also have the Pietro behind me here, so we can use the Pietro. One thing I wanted to talk to you about, and I said I would bring it up in the live, is your method for brewing light roast, especially the clean ones, which is the ones I always end up not enjoying as much. And you were telling me that perhaps it's because, I'm not doing maybe the best method to extract more flavor out of a clean light roast coffee. So I saw your instructions as to brewing the light roast, and I'm not sure if you meant this coffee. Okay, this coffee, I have it out. Let's see, this is the I don't know how to say this, man, but Capso Kizio. Do you know what I'm talking about? This Kenyan washed. I think this was one of the lightest ones that you sent me. And, I never got a whole bunch out of it. And sometimes when that happens, what I like doing is going to the AeroPress. And that kind of makes sense, right? Because the AeroPress, you could just steep it long enough to get some flavor out. When I brew the coffees that are more processed or naturals, you were telling me that those are usually a lot easier to extract, and that's why I always end up liking them more. I have a feeling it's not going to be just that, But again, I always go into these experiments with an intuition, and then I get it all wrong. So if this is the coffee you meant, maybe we can try doing this. I also have some of the samples you sent me. There's a little bit left of, I think maybe one of them ran out, but most of them, I still have it. We should be able to make something with the samples. The other coffee you sent me, I will receive. Well, it's here, but it's at the post office. I can go pick it up tomorrow. So I'll have that maybe for the next video that I record. Another thing is that you guys haven't seen it yet on the channel, but I recently visited Panther Coffee. That's going to be in the vlogs eventually. Panther Coffee is, I would say, maybe even the whole state of Florida, premier coffee roaster. This is maybe one of the best well-known brands in perhaps all of Florida, for sure in Miami. In Miami, for sure, Panther Coffee is top-notch. And I believe the people that started Panther Coffee, they came from a background from Stumptown. I could be wrong on that, but I believe it's where they kind of got their feet wet. And they were like one of the very first folks to do, premium, how do you call it? The word slipped my mind. But anyway, a premier coffee shop here in Miami. They are probably maybe the best at it. And recently I went to their original location, the very first place that they opened, which is still there. It's in Wynwood. And I vlogged it, so that'll be in the vlog channel soon enough. That evening, we also went to an Indian restaurant that was really spectacular, and we finished the night at Night Owl Cookies, my favorite cookie spot in all of South Florida. So, all right, but we have a bag from Panther. I have not even opened it. We could do this. We can try this, or we can try one of the samples. Let's see what you guys have to say. All right, who else we have here? We got Jason. Shout out to Jason. And, Pudu, Howie. What's going on, man? You guys don't know about Pudu Brews? Maybe check him out, Howie. Howie has his channel that he does. His videos are like kind of shorter. They're not, it's not so much of a commitment like me, but he uses AI to bring up like interesting things about coffee, selecting coffees or coffee brewing or different methods of extraction. And they're pretty fun videos. Check it out. He always includes some funny bits at the end where these different chatbots argue with each other, and it's always pretty funny. I love that. Let's see. All right, so we got Howie, we got Jason, and we got Ken. All right, so now let me read, see if Ken says that he tried to talk about my live stream during Jay's live stream. Thank you, buddy. All right, and then Jason says, I don't think so, Ken. Just happened to be online and the notification. What do you mean, Jason? What is this all about? I try to post a thing about going live. I don't see it like anywhere. It said it posted. I can't see it on my end. And I have more than one channel. I went on the vlog channel and I couldn't see the notification there either, where I just posted, I think the thumbnail that I was able to find, it said at the bottom, it said something, the wait is over or something like that. It had nothing to do with this. That thumbnail I created for when I bought the Niche Duo. It's the same one, but it's the first thing I ran into that looked appropriate to announce the live today. And I just posted it, but I don't even think it worked. And Howie, hi, can't watch, I'm working, but wanted to say hi. Thank you, Howie. Thank you for dropping in. I know you'll probably watch it later. Ken says, yes, that's the one I was talking about. Okay, so yeah, that's the coffee, good. So maybe we should brew this. And you could tell me, again, I have third wave water. Let me know the temperature. I have it. I know you said something about not going so hot. I have it set at 94. I don't remember if that was it or where do you want me to set it. So I got third wave water. I'll put the temperature you want. I can either brew with a flat bottom on the April, or I can do, the origami, either flat bottom or cone filter. For the grinder, we can use anything you want. Just let me know. Okay, Jason, about the Indian food. Yeah, no, the restaurant is gorgeous. If you're, yeah, I think you joined up on the vlog channel. You know, wait till you see it. It's really pretty. It's in Wynwood, in the middle of everything. It was a pretty crazy evening. There was a lot of folks out, and we had a lot of fun. You know, we've been already to Wynwood a couple of times for the vlogs, and we visited. You know, is this coming up? Oh no, right now it's gonna start, I think, when we travel to Scotland. I think the next one is the day of travel, actually going to the airport, I vlogged all of that, and going to Scotland. And then there's gonna be like 3 more Scotland videos after that. And then after that, there's visits to Wynwood, where I went to a place called Dante's Hi-Fi. Man, Jason, I could picture us right there on that, you know, it's a lounge. It's a lounge. They play vinyl records. Oh, it blew me away, man. I had been wanting to go to that spot for so long, and I know you like this kind of analog stuff, and you're into like, you know, kind of like the ambience that I get the feeling that you're into like the same kind of ambience, the same kind of thing that I enjoy, and even the style of music, right? Like some dark jazz or maybe some, it's really cool. This place blew me away. All right, it needs, let's see, it needs a little bit of work to extract properly, but I think the AeroPress could be a good option. Yeah, but the AeroPress, I already know that. You know, the whole thing is about bettering my pour over technique, because the AeroPress, I know that, that's what I usually do, and that maybe that's the reason why I always do a better job and I get more flavor, and I always enjoy these kind of, to me, they're kind of boring coffees a little bit better. I remember the one I brought back from, what's it called, Square Mile, the one in London, James Hoffman's roastery. I brought a bag back from London, and when I brewed that, I was never able to get a really exciting cup. Something that I was able, I mean, it was perfectly fine, just like this, perfectly fine. It's good coffee. You could tell the quality's there, and you could see it, but it's not exciting. It's not like, you know, some of like the naturals that you sent me that I was like taken back, and I was like, this is amazing. Yeah, and maybe just because I was, with the way I do pour over, I was just able to do a better job. So what I'm trying to do is, you know, maybe you can help me to better my technique when I'm trying to brew something like this. But as the AeroPress, I mean, I can bring out the AeroPress. We could do an AeroPress, but it's kind of boring. Just let it steep, push down, done. But yeah, we could do that. Oh, another thing is, I want to say it now because I might forget. So this is a live video. It's my second time doing a live video like this, a live stream. There is a high likelihood that I could say something wrong, misspeak, or this is not really what I meant. So please help me out with a little imagination as to perhaps what I meant to say. What else? Yeah, so this is my second time trying this. I don't even have a thumbnail ready. I think I figured out how to do a thumbnail. Obviously, I was able to go horizontal today a bit faster. It's still, I had the camera off, and it's gonna be like 2 minutes of dark, like nothing there. So by then, people will get frustrated and probably leave. I don't know, we'll see. I'll keep trying to better the technique. But yeah, keep in mind, this is live. So there's a big chance here that some could go wrong. So if camera woman was here, she'd be watching, because this is the only video she watches to see if she catches me making a fool of myself. So although when things have gone wrong, I've always left it in the video. Although something you guys don't know, there's been so far, I mean, I have recorded what, like, my goodness, like over 200 of these coffee videos by now, I think. Only twice I completely scrapped it. It was this is useless. I scrapped the whole project. One of those scraps happened fairly recent, where I was trying to do like a soup comparison, like a regular soup to the Summer Kiss recipe, which is, that's a funny story about that. Maybe we could talk about that. Shout out to Anton. Anton knows what I'm talking about, but yeah, the Summer Kiss recipe, you guys will see that video soon. And then regular, like an Americano, everything turned out wrong. I just scrapped the whole thing. All right, let's see where we're at here. No, Wynwood's nothing like Scotland. Wynwood, Wynwood, you could compare more like some areas in Berlin. It's like very industrial. Like it was an area of small warehouses close to downtown Miami before Miami grew and swallowed it up. Back then there was no design district. There was nothing in that end, just a bunch of small warehouses. It was a rough part of town. So, but you know, for the last like 30 years, that's been growing and growing and got swallowed up by downtown. And now it's really trendy. So all the old warehouses, a lot of them are getting knocked down completely, but a lot of them still remain. And, you know, they have graffiti everywhere. That's what made the place so popular, because artists started to move into these little warehouses and, you know, started doing graffiti and all these beautiful artwork. I mean, that's already in the vlogs. If you go to the vlog channel and you see the one when I visited, Waltz, what's it called? Waltz, I don't know, the Cars and Guitars place. It's Cars, Guitars, and Coffee. Okay, you'll see, it's very recent. Well, there's only like 7 vlogs. I think it was like number 6, I believe. Then after that, I went to the taco stand. The taco stand is also in Wynwood, also right there. I recorded all of that the same day. I walked around. You get to see some of the murals and some of the stuff. But yeah, no, it's nothing like Scotland. Scotland is like this gothic kind of like, Scotland would be something like Manhattan here in the US. You go to Manhattan, you see these old cathedrals and stuff. That's Scotland. Just a smaller scale than Manhattan. Okay, so I got some brewing instructions from Kent, and let's see what Jason has to say. So I'll get back to that in a second. Right, Jason, that's what I was trying to figure out. Jason here saying, you know, don't know how that's done, but other YouTubers have a screenshot that says live, upcoming, and it's up hours before the live actually happens. That's what I was trying to do. I tried to do it an hour before. I had the thumbnail, I put the caption, I gave access to the, how do you call that, to the images or whatever, the gallery, picture gallery in my phone so that it could do it. And then I agreed and all that stuff. And I thought it worked, but then I don't see it. So I'll figure that out. That's exactly what I meant, doing that, so people know. But regardless, what I want to do is the first Friday of every month. This month, it was not the first Friday because the first Friday was too close to the 1st of January. And I figured no one's going to be there. Like, people are doing things, you know, I don't want to impose. So I figured on January, we'll do the second Friday. But from here on out, I want to try to, you know, it's obviously there's a chance that something could happen and I can't do it. I mean, life is, you know, stuff happens. So, but that's the plan, to go live the first Friday of every month, either noontime like it is now, or at 7 p.m., which that would be the coffee and cocktails hour. And we'll do some of those as well for folks that are in other areas that is more convenient. I know for you guys that's horrible, but yeah, that's the plan. And I'll figure out how to put the thumbnail and announce it and stuff. But yeah, I couldn't do that. Big Face. No, Big Face is really close. Big Face is really close to Wynwood. I drove past Wynwood and pointed it out. Perhaps you saw that. But Big Face is in the design district. That's a little bit like, it's not so industrial. It's not so like the graffiti and stuff. That's not in the design district. That's more, there is some of that. There is some of that, but not as much. It's a lot more like, I don't want to use the word cleaner because the graffiti is not like it's dirty, but I don't know if you know. It's just like white walls or gray or black or something. It's not like the graffiti stuff. So you have to go a little bit further south and you go into the Wynwood area. If you keep going south, you go into downtown Miami. So Yeah, but it's right there. It's really close. Big Face is kind of in there. It's really close to Wynwood, but it's just a different feel, different look. Yeah, noontime where I'm at. Noontime here, Eastern time in Florida. Right, I pointed it out. I drove by Wynwood and pointed it out. Oh, Jason is in Singapore. So Jason's in Singapore. Kent was asking. Yeah, and Ken is in Norway. If you didn't know. All right, so let's get started with this coffee. I mean, I would love to just sit here and chit chat with you guys. I've been waiting for this moment. You know, let's talk about that a little bit. Whenever the 2 times that I've gone live, you know, I'm a little bit anxious because, you know, anything could go wrong. It's live. I mean, I can always delete the video, but I don't want to do that, obviously. So you're a little bit nervous. It's not like me recording, I'm alone here, whatever, something goes wrong, I redo the little part or I re-say something, and it gives me an opportunity to think. So a lot of times I'm talking and I'll stop to think of the right way of saying something, where in a live, I mean, you can't be stopping to think, to say stuff. You just got to keep going. If not, I mean, think about that. Somebody that keeps pausing is just going to be so annoying. So, but yeah, you get a little bit anxious because it's going to be alive, you know. But when it's time to go, that completely changes to excitement. I'm just ready. I'm so happy to be here with you guys, and so thankful to be healthy and to feel good, and for you guys to be here with me and share our passion for coffee and our discovery of this whole thing, right? It keeps evolving, new tools, new methods. Now the soup is the big thing. A little while back, the blind shaking was the big thing. I can't wait for you guys to see that Summer Kiss soup recipe, which I named Summer Kiss because that's the fun part, right? Anton, by the way, he's in Germany. So Anton, he sends me the recipe, right? It is a really crazy recipe, a 1 to 10 with a 2-minute bloom. Oh, it's complex. And so he sends me this, here, try this. It did the best, something you guys haven't seen on the channel yet. You'll see it eventually. But the last time I did a live stream, one of the viewers suggested I try a roaster here in the US that goes by the name of Color. Okay, they're in Colorado. And I received this coffee, and it's the lightest roast I've ever seen from any roaster in the US. I've never seen anything lighter. As a matter of fact, I want to say maybe it's even lighter than what Kent sent me. This thing was crazy. And I tried one of the coffees, and it was no bueno. Obviously, because again, like Kent says, some of my techniques for doing these kind of roast profiles and for doing some of these clean coffees that are really lightly roasted, I'm not going about it the best way. So that's why I want to practice. That's what I'm going to do today. Let's just do that. I'll open this bag maybe another time. And this is just from the chit-chatting that's been happening. I already know this video is going to be crazy long. So by the way, the flare is not on. So I had it ready just in case you guys wanted to make espresso, but I don't think it's going to happen today. We're probably going to just try to brew this with Kent's recipe and see if I get a better cup. But I have a feeling, Kent, man, I just favor those natural, processed coffees. It's just, but I could be wrong. So we'll see. And you see, my mind just went on to something else. I lost my train of thought. All over the place. All right, where am I? If somebody knows what I was getting to, let me know. I'll continue. Yes, Ken is a Viking. He probably sure is. Oh, man. I know, Miami, Singapore, Norway. Wow, what a small world, right? I wish that Anton could be here, and we have somebody from Germany. There's another viewer that he comments and stuff from Germany. Nino. Shout out to Nino. And then I have a few folks in Canada. In Ottawa, we had Wojtek. I was hoping that he'd be here. We have Carrie here. Carrie's my biggest fan, man. I gotta give a shout out to Carrie. Carrie has helped me so much to keep me motivated. Ever since discovering my channel, has always been present there for keeping me enthusiastic. But yeah, so there, we built a little family, and I'm so thankful to be able to share this with you guys. All right, what do we have? That's quite the triangle, that's for sure. 1830. What is 18? What's that? 6? 6, right? Yeah, everybody's different hours, different. That's crazy. All right, let's get back to the coffee brewing. Now, here's the problem. For these lives, I'm thinking of doing this, so it's more about sharing the time with you guys and hanging out with you guys than anything else. And I want to be on camera the whole time, but you're not gonna really see any detail of what's going on. But then we have the other format for that, right? We have most videos will be the other stuff. So I think this is better for this, but you won't see anything of what's going on. I'll just kind of tell you. But all right, so Kent, should we go with the origami or the April? Flat bottom, cone filter. What do you want to do? Or maybe he already said. Let me go back. All right, capsuccio is washed. Am I saying that right? I don't, probably not. Capsuccio is washed, so just go somewhere 95 to 96. Okay, so it's at 95. I only had to raise 1 degree, so it's at 95. And the origami, so he did say 1 minute bloom. Okay, we'll get into that in a second. So we're doing a cone filter, I imagine. And I had my filters out. Where did I put them? Oh, I think I left them down here. Yeah, I have the flat bottom filters down there too. I have more water down there. Okay, in 1 second we'll do the rinse. So it's supposed to be 1 minute bloom, 40 grams of water. And that is if I'm brewing 12 grams of coffee. So yes, that's what we're gonna do, 12 grams. So let's weigh it out. The scale is back here. What grinder, what grind size? Let's see if he said anything in regards to that. No, there's nothing in regards to the grind size. Normally, for me and the Duo, for filter coffee, I never grind below 45. That is like the finest I ever go. And from there, I go all the way to like 70. Most of the brews happen between 55 and 65. But, and if, I don't know if do you have a Pietro? Because then you could tell me like where to set that. But other than that, just tell me like should be coarser than normal or finer than normal, and then I'll take it from there. Jason says that capsuccio sounds Greek. Yeah, that's a good guess. Jason says that a lot of the coffee he had a Chiang Mai. Is that, am I saying, man, me and my pronunciation of foreign words, I'm horrible. I'm the worst, man. Were mostly very lightly roasted as well, overly acidic, some might say. Yeah, I think the overly acidic thing is never like what ends up bothering me. It's more the fact that because I can always like maybe dilute it more. I can always like brew it longer and get rid of some of that and get it a little sweeter to more balanced. And I can always deal with that. But what always happens is the actual taste profile that ends up, if it's really light, it ends up being kind of like grassy tasting or perhaps like vegetables. Yeah, and you guys are gonna see when the Colorado, oh, I think that's what I was talking about when I drifted off and lost my train of thought. I was talking about Colorado, I'm sorry, Color Coffee Roasters from Colorado. So this coffee was as light as I've ever seen. One of the bags, I don't want to give away too much, but wow, it was no bueno. And then I did the Summer Kiss recipe with that coffee, and because the espresso machine is probably hotter, and it was soup, there was no pressure, but I did the 1:10 ratio, diluted it enough, extracted it enough that it actually was by far the best thing I've gotten from that coffee. And again, that's probably because I'm not doing the kind of recipe or the kind of brewing method that I should be doing with these clean, extremely light coffees. And well, that's what today is going to end up being all about. So let's see if Kent let me know the grind size. By the way, is the volume, does it stay constant? Because what happens is when I look down, like I'm right over the mic, and maybe it's annoying for you guys. So I'll try to talk like this. I don't know. How is the sound? Hey, the laptop's still on back there. Okay, I forgot about it. Okay, volume is fine. Okay, thank you. So when I look down, it doesn't get like overly loud. If you're saying it's fine, then probably not. Okay, grind size is hard to recommend. 600 microns, man, come on, I'm in America. First of all, 600 microns means nothing to me. I have no idea. I wish. I've talked about it so many times. I even made a video about it. It's absurd that we're still in the imperial standard of measurements. That makes absolutely no sense. It's the most ridiculous thing ever. But for like distances, I know 600 microns is going to be some tiny amount, but I'm not, the only thing I deal with is temperature when it comes to the metric system. Okay. Okay, great. It doesn't fluctuate, so I don't have that worry now. Okay, 1 minute bloom, just stick to your usual 1:15 ratio. Okay. All right. So I'll do 12 grams in, 180 out. I already know that. I got the bloom. The grind size. Okay, so just answer me this. Should I go finer than normal, or should I go pretty much like where I always start, or should I go a little bit coarser than normal? The way I would always start is grind size 55 on the duo. I can go to 45, that'd be quite a bit finer, or I can go to 65, which is quite a bit coarser, or anywhere in between. Okay, so let's give Kent an opportunity to answer that. Ken is a pro, absolutely. Ken knows what he's doing when it comes to coffee. I'm just some dude. I always say it. I'm just some dude. I started making the coffee videos because once I figured out how to use the Breville infuser, there was a learning curve. There was a bit of a struggle. In the beginning, I didn't even know that you needed a specific type of grinder. And the grinder that I had, you couldn't dial in coffee. I threw that thing away. So then I bought the Breville Smart Grinder Pro, and that was my first grinder, and I learned how to use it. I learned about tamping, about the gap distance between the coffee puck and the shower screen, about the dose, the yield, the timing, all those kinds of things. So once I learned everything and I practiced enough, I figured, I should make a video because I haven't seen too many people explain this the way I do it, and it's kind of easy if you follow the way I do it. That video ended up being maybe my second most watched video ever. I think it's been passed by the squeaky handle. Like, who would have thought? Like, teach people how to take away the little squeak from the handle, and they'll be so thankful. And that one is done pretty well. But yeah, once I figured all that out, I think that's pretty much how I started making coffee videos, explaining the whole thing about the Breville infuser and how to use it, so kind of help people out. Before that, I was already making videos, but kind of like about all kinds of things. All right, and let's see, what grind size are we using? Slightly finer. Okay, so if I usually go at 55, let's go slightly finer, so let's go to 50. And good enough, it's set at 50 right now, so I don't even have to touch it. Maybe we should run it a bit. You know what, I'm gonna leave the mic back here for a second so it's not so annoying with the noise, maybe. Or over here by the music. We got the little music going on. I know I left the mic. I'll be back to get it. I had some, the little paper was some instructions as to how to brew the coffee. I always try to keep some kind of note. Sometimes I have also on the phone, like some notes as to different coffees, but a lot of times it's just easier to leave a little paper in the bag giving you the grind size and stuff like that. So that's what that was. So I got my 12 grams, let's grind it and see and check retention. Okay, so I had 12.1 when I put it in. Now it's fluctuating between 12.1 and 12.2, so pretty much no retention. I know it's filtered, but I'm still gonna fluff it up a little bit. Wow, you get, man, it smells great. Beautiful fragrance. I'm not gonna need this. Try to put this off to the side a little bit. Give myself more room over here. Okay, so first let's warm it up. Okay, now something that I recall from Kent's instructions, that he sent me an email. He sent me an email. It was lengthy. It's hard to obviously to memorize all of the different steps. But something that I do remember is him mentioning that not to pour so much around the side because most of that water becomes bypassed. And then it could be part of the reason why I'm not getting the best result and the most extraction, because maybe I need to pour more circles, but in the middle. Like not so close to the edges, and that makes a lot of sense. I gotta say. Okay, so everything's hot. We're ready. Put my 12 grams. Okay, so we're gonna do a 1 to 15. So 180 out. As far as agitation, should I touch it or don't just, I mean, the water is gonna move everything around and there is such a little small bed that it's just gonna agitate regardless. Which, by the way, I've recorded a couple of videos already using the dispersion screen from the Tricklet and putting it right on top of the brewer. It's an incredible difference of timing that you'll get. Like, using it's the same thing like you use a mellow drip, but I don't have a mellow drip. So I decided, you know what? I can use the dispersion screen from the Tricklet because it's pretty much the same idea. And sure enough, it works. It works very well. And wow, there's like way less agitation. The coffee brews way faster, sometimes in like half the time, that much difference. So yeah, how much agitation, if any? Yeah, I know that Kent, he's mostly into, filter coffee. And by the way, I've said it a million times in my videos. I drink way more filter coffee than anything else. This is what I make every morning. Hence why I want to practice. So when I have something very clean and lightly roasted, I can do a better job. Oh, we have MC Irving. Shout out to MC Irving. Yeah, I think he's talking to someone else here, not me specifically, because let's see if there's a lot of, I fell behind here on the comments and there's no way for me to figure this out. I'm just going to have to keep going here. So if you saw that I missed something that you wanted me to respond to, just type it up again. If I'm sorry, but it's getting lengthy. Yeah, I know that Kent, this is one of Kent's favorite coffees of all times. And to me, it was one of the ones I liked the least. But that could be because I'm brewing it wrong. But also, keep in mind, okay, I am Cuban. I was brought up like it's got to be like leaps and bounds different than Kent. Cuban coffee is burnt coffee, okay? Burnt coffee, over extracted, and then balanced out with sugar. That's what it is. I mean, that's what I grew up drinking. So my palate is completely different, so your upbringing, your surroundings, what you used to, even the taste that you gravitate to are going to be way different. That's why I always say that I love IPA beer. IPA is a lot of flavor, very intense and bitter, okay? And I can handle bitterness way better than acidity. Acidity is really nice up to some extent. After that, it's just an acid bomb, and it's not my preference. But that could completely be viewed differently by someone that their upbringing is different, their palate developed in a different way, and the flavors they're used to and like are completely different than mine. So that could have something to do with it as well. Although when I started into coffee and I had my first taste of something light with acidity, I loved it. I loved it. And then I went down the rabbit hole, right? That's what started the whole thing. So for espresso, what's my favorite? If that question was for me, and I'm talking about the comment here from MC Irving, is espresso my favorite compared to what? Like, I love espresso. I make it all the time. Almost all my videos are espresso. Yeah, I love milk drinks. I love espresso. Now I'm into the soup thing, trying to figure this thing out. Is there anything to gain by doing soup versus an Americano? I still don't think so. But people say yes. Ken says that because it's filtered. To me, that's not a huge difference. Yes, you can taste the difference, but I like the kind of like non-filtered. So, I don't know. Okay, I guess you guys are talking about iced coffee. No, I mean cold brew, maybe cold brew or some kind of iced coffee. I don't know anything about that. Okay, so Ken is saying not to swirl. So just at the end to flatten it out. So, okay, we'll do that. And I know now when I do circles to kind of not go all the way to the edge. So my attack plan here, Ken, is going to be that, okay, my minute bloom is with 40 grams, correct? And then after that, maybe 2 more pours. So that means I will do 70 and 70. That's another 140, which will finish at 180. I think that's the way to do it. All right, so 40 grams, no swirling, mostly circles in the middle. Just see if any, I don't think with 40 grams everything's gonna get saturated, but we'll see. I gotta heat up the kettle again. Cuban coffee, una coladita. Yeah, that's what you say if you want the whole thing. And if you drink the whole thing, you're gonna be having a bad day. You're gonna be having a bad day, my friend, unless you're with a bunch of folks, because that's how we do it. You go to the little window, you know, dame una coladita, they give you the whole little can, and then they give you the little sharing little cups, and then you just serve everybody, and everybody has a chat, and you drink some, you know, dark roast burnt coffee with balanced out by sugars. Great. We love this stuff. Can't get enough of it. You know, I always talk about Versailles. One day I'll vlog it. I'll go to Versailles. I'll show you what the place is like. I'll order coffee a la ventanita so you could see what I'm talking about. I'll show you the bakery. That place has grown like, I mean, this is like an iconic restaurant here. I mean, everybody knows and goes to Versailles sooner or later. But the food there is just as good as any, and it's not expensive. You would think that they'd be milking their fame and stuff, but it's not. They charge pretty much the same like anywhere else, maybe a little more. But yeah, we'll go. I'll vlog it out one day. We'll go order una coladita and at the window in Versailles. Jason's a trip, man. Jason's a trip. He's like, I'm super lazy. I just use the clever dripper. Oh, man. Yeah, where are you, Jason? I know, Jason, he's in the world of wines, I imagine, from the conversations we've had. He knows a lot about spirits and wines. So I could see how a curator, I guess, you know, it's kind of like the same discipline, whether it's for coffee or for wines or for beers or for whatever, even foods, right? Your palate adapts to certain flavors and certain things you're looking for to perhaps, you know, find the best quality, or I don't know, whatever curators do. Okay, so MC Irving, where are you watching from? Are you in Miami? All right, so let's start brewing. Now I'm gonna have to concentrate until I finish the brew, and then we'll talk about it. I'll start tasting it. So let's start the scale. So 40 grams, let it bloom for 1 minute, and then we'll see what the total time is gonna be. I don't know, but remember, a lot of the time nothing's gonna be happening because 40 grams is gonna drain, and then I'm just waiting. So, and then after that, we'll do 2 pours, 70 grams each. I'll do tight circles and kind of just finish in the center and see what happens here. Okay, water's at 95. We're starting the time. Here we go, 40 grams. Trying to saturate everything, but mostly going into the middle. Oh, it did definitely saturated everything. Yeah, I had more than enough water. 40 grams was more than enough to saturate the 12 grams of coffee. But you see the dripping is almost stopping already. So now like not much is happening, but put the kettle back on so it stays hot. We're at 30 seconds. It's dripping very, very slowly. I don't think you guys could see any of that, obviously. Tune in on the regular edited videos to get a close-up look. And we do the overhead, you know, so you could see what I'm doing. This live thing, man, am I fully in frame, or am I chopping my head? I think I'm chopping the top of my head. I think I'm chopping the top of my head. I should have aimed the camera a little bit higher up, perhaps. Okay, so 1 minute. I almost fell behind on my pouring. 102, 103, here we go. Okay, mostly tight circles in the middle. Just going slow. Okay, I think from Ken's instructions, he said to kind of let it just drain completely out. Okay, that's it still has a small stream happening, and it stopped. Okay, so now I'm gonna start again in little tight circles, and we're gonna finish at 180. A little bit more. Okay, 180. Little tiny swirl at the end. Now we wait and see. Kent, what would you say would be a good amount of time for the whole process here? I mean, I would say a good 30 seconds, there was pretty much nothing happening. Oh, okay, MC Irving. I remember talking to you recently, and you had told me that you were in Miami Gardens. That's right. That you have a Lelite also, but not the Bianca. Okay, this is sending the dripping. All right, I'm calling it. It's dripping like almost nothing. So 2 minutes and 50 seconds, but for like 30 seconds, nothing was happening. So that means like 220 was actually, I say nothing was happening, but this bloom like that, I guess, is something that everyone does. I mean, I'm just not, when there's nothing happening, I just keep pouring. Maybe that's all wrong. All right, we're done with this. Let me put this off to the side. Give me a second. Yeah, I think I should have aimed the camera up higher up. What did I do? I thought I had my little rags out. I guess not. I have the phone sitting on them. Well, I have another one now. All right. Off to the side. I want to give it a stir. By the way, Miami Gardens, for those of you that don't know, Ken and Jason, Miami Gardens is just north of me, north and northeast of me. Ken, first impressions, it's a little bit tomatoey. It's what always, that's another kind of, like a normal thing that happens with these coffees for me. The tomatoey thing. Oh, okay, let me try again. Am I gonna say that it's like completely different from what, oh, and by the way, remember today we used third wave water, okay, full packet strength. Third wave water with, I started with distilled water and added a packet. It's so far from what I've seen, third wave water, I don't know if those videos posted. Have you guys seen anything about third wave water yet? I don't remember, man. I don't know what posted and what hasn't. I know I recorded it, a bunch of them. So have you guys seen anything as to third wave water yet on my channel? The Mara X, that's the espresso machine MC Irving is on. So yeah, but I do like filter coffee like this every morning. So espresso I make mostly when I have time and on the weekends. One thing that I do a lot of times on the mornings is make coffee on the mocha pot, because I just make a little bit so I can add it to my milk. That's my breakfast, just a latte. I drink my café con leche, and then I'll do a pour over and sit down and really relax and try some spectacular filter coffee. That's usually how it goes. Okay, so my third wave water videos I have not posted. Okay, obviously Kent knows what I'm talking about. I'm not sure. Jason, third wave water is minerals that are balanced they have different formulas. The one I bought is for filter coffee for light roast, which I already experimented with that, also making espresso on the Flare 58. Third Wave makes different formulations, okay? If you want to use it in an espresso machine with a boiler, then you need to buy a specific one. You need to buy the formula that is devoid of calcium so that you don't run the risk of building scale in the boiler. So in the Flare 58, you could do any water you want. So that's why I used it in the Flare 58. So what I've noticed so far with Third Wave water, and you guys will see when I first tried it, it was something I have always wanted to do and I still hadn't done on the channel, which was try Third Wave water and play with water chemistry. I still hadn't done it. But what I've noticed with the Third Wave water so far is that it always brings out more acidity and more depth of flavor. But you sacrifice sweetness and some of the okay. All right, my understanding is that if a phone call happens, like it just happened, and this is why this morning I was trying to figure out how to stream from my other phone, a phone that I don't use anymore. It doesn't have a line anymore. Maybe use that to stream because I didn't want to run the risk of getting a phone call, and it just happened. So I don't know if that did anything. Are we still on? Okay, Jason says saved by the bell. So I guess we're still on. What was I talking about just before? Oh man, this is horrible. MC Irving wants to get into pour over coffee. Okay, if you want to start, the first thing you need to do is get a gooseneck kettle because it's going to help you. This kind of kettle. This style like this, that's called gooseneck. It doesn't have to be this one. Don't get this one. This one's really expensive. That one is the Fellow Stag EKG. They've been making it for years. I love it. It fits my look. But you don't need that. You can get any kind of kettle, gooseneck kettle, maybe from Timor, Normcore. Everybody makes it. I'm sure that, what's that company called? 3WH Bomb or something like that. That company makes really good products at a very reasonable price. Just get a nice gooseneck kettle, an electric one, not a stovetop, because you want to be able to see the temperature and set it at certain temperatures so that then you can start playing with temperature. Okay, so you get a kettle, you get a scale, and I suggest you get something big like this so that you can see what's going on. The little tiny coffees, espresso scales usually are too small, but maybe yours will be big enough to use it. But these are not very expensive. This one's from Timor. I love it. This is the Black Mirror Basic Plus. That's a lot of names. Black Mirror Basic Plus. It used to be like $80, but inflation, who knows what it is now? I don't know. I love it. Rechargeable, the battery lasts forever. So yeah, so get a scale, get a kettle, and get some light roast coffee. And you're gonna mind blown. Okay, try Good Brothers. Give a shout out to Brent. Brent he runs Good Brothers Coffee. Top notch here in the US. Look for something that says it's lightly roasted or medium light. He does a lot of medium light. Try it. Perfect. Start with medium light. You go really light, like the stuff Ken is telling me, then you're gonna run into these issues that you gotta really know what you're doing. It gets more technical. Your grinder becomes more of a factor. Agitation, timing, it just gets more complicated. And maybe your palate is like mine and you won't recognize greatness when you see it. And it's tasting a little tomatoey. So Ken, that's why. Now I was talking about third wave water. One thing I have noticed is good. It's a great cup of coffee. If I go to a coffee shop and I ask for this, be awesome. This is great. But would I say that I like this over the Langora? No, heck no. The one that your dad likes. No, man. No. That stuff is just ridiculous. It's mind blowing, you know. But yeah, this is lovely. If I lean back on the counter like this back here, I don't chop up the top of my head. Maybe I should just, I should chill back here. I have a feeling today's stream is going to go on. Man, I could go on forever like this, talking to you guys. Like really, if you guys are participating, oh, I could just go on. I mean, I'm not going to allow that to happen, but I could see that. All right, what do we got? MHW3 Bomber, that is the correct name. Those people make fantastic products. You can look at their website or on Amazon and look for their products, the scale, the gooseneck kettle, that's all you need. And then just start practicing. As far as water, I'm not sure how you're doing your water, but I use a Brita filter. It works just fine. As a matter of fact, I compared that's some of the third wave water videos you're gonna be seeing popping up on the channel deal with exactly that. Comparing my regular water that I always have used to the third wave. Back to back, same coffee, same grinder, same everything, just back to back, brew it there, taste both. And what I've noticed is that my regular Brita water seems to extract like less. You get a sweeter flavor and you get a little bit more blended kind of flavor, if that's a thing. With the third wave, you're gonna get a bit more acidity and like a little bit more depth, a little bit more. I don't always like it better from the third wave. A lot of you'll see the videos, they're gonna be posting soon. And a lot of the times you'll see me say that, no, today I like my regular water better. Okay, let's see. Brent in German means burnt. Oh, okay. Quite the opposite of light roast. That's a comment from Jason. Brent. Makes sense. But no, Brent here in the US at Good Brothers, he doesn't burn his coffee. He's doing an excellent job. Okay, now it's nice and like better drinking temperature where I can see the flavors more. Still, I mean, I would say it's not super exciting. It's not like a lot of stuff going on. It's not very peaky. It's not like a lot of like highs and lows. It's super clean. I mean, that's what you expect. It's less tomatoey now. Yeah, now the berries are coming in. Maybe it's a little bit less tart, but for some reason, now I can taste more like berries instead of like the tomatoey. However, I love tomatoes. Nothing wrong with that. It's as far as the balance of the cup is perfect. The acidity and sweetness is perfectly balanced. As a matter of fact, I wish it was peakier. I wish it had more acidity and more sweetness, just in more depth, like finding more flavors in there. It's just very clean and not super exciting, just like the one from Square Mile, which I recall just like that. And I've had many others like that. But those are the two that are coming to mind just now. Let's see what the tasting notes are. If I had to guess, I would say, well, I would guess that this coffee is just straight up washed. It's not extremely exciting, but that could also be because of the way I'm brewing it. If I go to the AeroPress, it will be better for me, for sure, because it always get more. And now with the Summer Kiss recipe, you can also bring that out. So that's something you can try. What was I gotta remember the name, but I have to see it a few times. MC Irving, okay? Something you can try with your espresso machine is trying some of these soup shots, wait until you see the recipe for the summer kiss and then try to do it. Try to replicate that from these light roast coffees like this. That's another thing. It has to be a light roast. Don't try to do that recipe with anything else. It's gonna be horrible. So, but with a really lightly roasted coffee, it brings out more, just like the AeroPress. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying. Okay, you can see it there with the light. Okay, yeah, it is. It is. I mean, look at that, right? But this is as light as they come. And I'm telling you, the one from Color, one of them, it tastes even lighter than this. I don't want to give away. You'll see. You'll see it. I was going to tell you something else about it. You'll see. I have 4 coffees from that company, and you'll see the videos. Okay, so yeah, Jason is filtering his water like I do. It's fun to try water chemistry because what your filter is doing is removing stuff, right? But it doesn't add anything. At least the filters I know of. There are some filters. Let me not say that there are some filters that add magnesium. I have one of those. So there could be a filter that's adding something. The third wave water, the thing is that is the formulation, what they're adding to the water is specific amounts of different things that supposed to highlight certain things. That's the whole mindset around it. And it's, yes, the little packets are expensive, but they're going to last you a while. And I'm thinking that what I'm going to do is use the third wave for like whenever I'm trying a coffee, at least once, use the third wave to see how different it is from my regular water. And not for like a go-to every single day. So it's gonna last me. One little box I think brought 17 little single dose things to make 17 gallons. That's gonna last me a while. Yeah, and they're individual, so they won't go bad or anything. It's just minerals. Okay, Kent send me another little box of, Kent, like when you send me stuff, it's good enough, just samples, so I can taste and talk about these things. Like full bags, like, wow, don't go through the expense, buddy. I'm really thankful and I've enjoyed it a whole bunch, but wow, I'll be equally happy with just 100-gram samples. So I can brew it 2-3 times here in the show, talk about it, give my opinion, make a fool of myself, that kind of stuff that I usually do. So, yeah, I don't know what you sent this time, but Kent from Norway has sent me some coffee, and I pick it up tomorrow. And we'll see. We'll see. We'll see what we get this time. He says that he's sending me some heavily processed coffees. This. From famous producers. Okay, we'll give them a shot. Now, co-ferments, I don't always like co-ferments. I've had some, but my favorite coffee, yeah, right. So my favorite coffee last year, this is live. I was gonna say, wait, am I thinking? No, live, we're in 26. So my favorite coffee last year was the Coco Bongo, which was a co-ferment from DAC. And that coffee, it was mind-blowing. It was ridiculous. And then after that, it was the Kenyans. What I got from Fried Hats, what I got from Hinta Huff. Who would have known a roaster, a little coffee shop I went to in Louisville, Kentucky. These people are known for bourbon. That's the reason we were there, to do the bourbon trail and visit the different distilleries, which, by the way, it was an awesome experience. I loved it. Kentucky is beautiful too. So, yeah, that was awesome. But who would have thought there's like a little, Anton, I think, is the one that told me, oh, that's like Germantown in Louisville, something like that. There's like a little area where I guess there's a lot of Germans live there, and there was a coffee shop by the name of Hinterhof, which means backyard porch, okay? So I bought Kenyan Double A there. That was, oh my goodness, one of my favorite coffees the whole year. And who'd have thought, right? Oh yeah, Kent. Okay, so Kent says that the way I go about all my filter coffee, my pour overs, these coffees that are a little bit more processed or a little bit more developed, like a medium light or like fermentation, not co-ferment, but fermentation, like 40-hour ferment, or maybe a thermal shock kind of processed coffee. All these coffees, they become easier to extract due to the processing. So, and he thinks that that's probably the reason, because my pour over method just favors that, and it works great for those kinds of coffees, and that's the reason why I've gotten accustomed to those and like those. Maybe so. I don't know. This is one of those things that even your upbringing becomes a part of it, right? Your upbringing and the kind of flavors that that we're used to. So. Yeah, definitely the third wave water brings out more acidity and a little bit more depth of flavor. Like this cup today, it's a little bit, perhaps maybe now that it's cooled down, I can taste everything. Maybe it's a little bit more interesting than the ones I've done previously. As it cools down, the berries are a little bit more apparent. It's less tomatoey, like I said. And I was gonna read the tasting notes, and I never got to that. So let's do that. We've been streaming now, I don't know how long, but I could go like this another couple hours, but I'm not gonna put you guys through that. Okay, what do we have? It's okay. So the Capsule Quisio, is that the roaster? I imagine the coffee shops or roasters. And K7, SL28, and SL34, that's the varietal, the type of coffee beans this is. And these are from Mount Elgon, Kenya. The processing is just washed, and it's very apparent, very obvious. They even tell you when it was harvested. Wow, that's next level. December 2024. That was when it was harvested. Okay, now the flavors. It says rose hips. I did not remember at all. Rose hips, hibiscus, and red berries. Okay, the red berries is maybe what I'm tasting. The tasting notes, rose hips and hibiscus, that points to me, and this is what I said when I first reviewed it, that this should taste a lot more floral and a lot more like tea. But tea maybe. I've never had like a hibiscus tea. Maybe. Could be. Okay, and this roaster is located in Oslo, Norway. Oslo is the capital of Norway. Kent is in the city of Bergen, which is absolutely gorgeous. If you've never seen Bergen, take a look on YouTube. It's on the water, and it's surrounded by mountains. It's gorgeous. I can't wait to go and see it. So, yeah, Bergen is the second largest city in Norway. And Norway is like kind of empty from what from what I've seen. There's a lot of like mountains and nature, and there's not a whole bunch of people. I don't think there's a lot of people in Norway. Recently for the vlog channel, I went walking around and I took my big camera and I was kind of filming like some around my area, just pretty things, beautiful things. And as I'm walking around, I was listening to music, walking around with my tripod, my big camera, and thinking. And, I don't want to go on a big rant. This is a coffee show, and we just talk about coffee stuff. But, I was thinking, wow, I wish that 2026 is the year when the world, like, realizes how they should just all come together. I mean, I know that this is, like, way out there. But I can imagine a world where we don't need governments. Just get rid of all of them. Like, we don't need them. All they do is like conflicts and fighting. But if everybody got along together and everyone treated each other like brothers and sisters, and like this kind of thing that we're doing, the world could be so awesome, man. It could be so great that you didn't have borders and you could just travel and go anywhere. But I know that that's way out there. That's it's wishful thinking, but as when I filmed that, it was already like a couple weeks ago, and now things are just getting even more crazy here. Like, I wish that, if none of these things were happening and all these conflicts and fighting and stuff, there's no reason for any of that. Humanity should have evolved past all of that already. Like, what is going on? Like, why, I don't know. Okay, I'm not going to rant too much about that, but just it came to mind. And let's see if you guys want to talk about anything else. If not, I guess we're going to wrap it up pretty soon, because the lives, I don't even know if I'm going to do a thumbnail. I think I'm just going to put live number 2 or something, and the second time going live, or I don't know, something like that. I don't want to create a thumbnail. Or these videos, I imagine they're not going to get a lot of views. These videos are just for the little family, the people that want to hear me chit chat and hang out. And obviously, if you're on the live, it's a lot more fun because we're interacting. But, we'll see moving forward. Again, I want to do one of these live videos, like I said, the first Friday of every month. So, to start, maybe later on, we'll do more of them. Sometimes it'll be noon, sometimes it'll be at 7 p.m. If I do a noon video, by the way, tonight there won't be another video. This is it. So I'm not posting like the live at noon and then a 7 p.m. video. Okay, so that's not gonna happen. But sometimes I will go live at 7 p.m. and then we do the coffee and cocktails hour. I know for Ken and Jason, you guys are, that's very inconvenient. But, we have people in the U.S. that this is the middle of the day on Friday, lunchtime for me. A lot of people are working here. So they it's just, it's better to do sometimes noon, sometimes 7 p.m. Yeah, Jason says Norway is ridiculously postcard perfect. It sure is, man. And if you like the snow and the winter kind of, it's just really, really pretty. Okay, so Jason says that rose hips and hibiscus are very acidic. This coffee is not. So then the tasting notes, they don't belong, because it's definitely not. It's a little bit, tomatoes are a little bit acidic, right? Tomatoes. I'm saying that it's a little bit tomatoey. So you could say that. And a little berryness, but mostly sweetness. This is, if I would say, it's more balanced towards the sweetness than the acidic part. And I use third wave, which usually brings out more acidity. I could have also used the Pietro. The Pietro also highlights acidity, in my opinion. The hibiscus, I would say maybe the rose hip and hibiscus, maybe it's more on the aroma than on the taste. Because it tastes something, it smells something like tea, like herbal tea. The fragrance of the coffee, when I first ground it, it was coffee-like. It clean, super clean, but coffee-like. Now it's more tea-like. So the aroma is more tea-like. Maybe that's why. All right, Jason, no more precedents. Yeah, man, get rid of all of them. Like, we don't need these people. They're just ruining it for everybody. All we need to do is folks to get along, right? So then, do you think that the farmer in Ukraine wants to fight with the guy that buys his cucumbers in Russia or anything like that? No. It's just regular people don't want any of that. But there's always people that want power and greed and these kind of things that ruins it for everybody. And there's some folks that are just not good people. And then that's why we need police and governments and stuff. But maybe I think we can evolve past that. There's very few people like that out there. Most people are good people, by far. But by far, if not, we couldn't, this world would be over, man. We couldn't, there's too many of us. So, now that I've traveled outside the US, because I've traveled in the US everywhere, but it's like this, at least it's in the US, right? But now I've traveled outside the US, nothing changes. It's all the same. Okay, in Amsterdam, people wanted to laugh, play with their kids, go have coffee. There were some that wanted the special cookies. That's fine, whatever. Don't hurt anybody and have fun. And they were laughing and having fun. and that's it. I didn't see a single problem. There was tons of people, okay? So most people are great folks. And, I'm glad that I've been able to find a few of them on this YouTube channel, and through this, been able to meet some of you guys. And yeah, it's been wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, that's some good, nice thoughts, Jason. Maybe one day. Ken, don't tell me you have I don't think Ken has a. Okay, so MC Irving is asking Ken for his YouTube channel. If Ken, you better not have a YouTube channel, because if you have a YouTube channel, I'll be very mad. I don't think Ken has a YouTube channel, but Ken is really into coffee, and I'm not sure if it's some kind of. I don't think it's a coffee club. He's just a part of my coffee club, but I think he has these coffee gatherings or something, like where he brings coffee and shares different coffees with folks. Not exactly sure exactly how it works, but it's just like community service or something like that, where he does it for the goodness of his heart, because he's a good person. Oh yeah, okay. So no, Ken doesn't do any content. You better not, because if I didn't know about this, I try to educate people on coffee. Yeah, that's what I knew for almost 30 years, but only here in my local community, right? Like a community service that it does do gatherings and people, do these tastings. That's what I understood from it. Jason with the face mask on Venezuela. Dude, what in the world, bro? Like, look, I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to get into this stuff. Now, the people in Miami, let me just give you the perspective here, right? The people in Miami, the Venezuelans here in Miami, let me not be so general. The Venezuelans in Miami, and I'm sure there's some exceptions as well, but they're super happy because this guy was a tyrant and ruined the country. So, they got rid of this tyrant. If they would have gone into Cuba and gotten rid of Fidel, people here would have been super happy. Okay, I don't know exactly about Venezuela, but I'll tell you about Cuba because I know about that. Okay, so I'll tell you specifically my family's situation. Okay, my family's situation. And I've never obviously talked about this in my YouTube channel. So on these lives, you'll get some different things, right? That you're not going to get on a regular, not even on the vlogs. I don't imagine sitting there. Maybe one day I would do that, but okay, let's get in a little bit into that. And this just keeps dragging on. But okay, my family's situation. So I arrived in the U.S. in the Mario boat lift in 1980. We were basically kicked out of Cuba. Why? Because of my parents were religious and they wanted to follow a religion, and they wanted all religious people out of Cuba. They wanted to get rid of, like, if you were Jewish or if you were whatever, they just wanted you out. You can't have a religion. Get out of here. Then in the Mario boat lift, that was our particular situation, but they got rid of all kinds of people. They put people that were in jail, crazy people, like people that, whatever, they put them in boats and got rid of all of them and sent them over here. So if you sent a boat to Cuba to pick up people, like your family, there was a treaty done between the US and Cuba to go get your family and get them out. But when they would arrive at the port, the Cuban government would put your family in your boat, but then would fill up overly full of boat. Like if you could take 20 people, they would put 40 in there of all kinds of other people that you don't even know. But they're just thankful they're leaving Cuba. So everybody gets in the boat and then, they get to the US. So, but my grandfather in Cuba, he owned a market, a little market, a neighborhood market. the government came in and took it from him. They said, hey, this is ours now. So, because that's how the idea of communism maybe it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. So they took it from him and then ruined it. And then that closed up and that's it. And that they ruin everything. They don't know how to run anything. These people, I mean, let the guy that knows how to run the market, you know, like, so I don't know. They ruin everything. So they took his market. That was my grandfather on my mom's side. And on my dad's side, they took his farm. He was a farmer. They took his farm. Hey, this is ours now. This land belongs to the people of Cuba. They took his farm and they ruined that too. They don't grow anything there now. It's just dead. You know, there's nothing there. They don't grow anything in Cuba. There's nothing. There's no food. There's not. They just, the government comes in with, we're going to run this ourselves and like share it equally with everyone. That's the idea of communism, but it just doesn't work. They don't know how to run anything. And then there's the greed and people that steal everything, which is what starts happening. They just start stealing everything. Yeah, it just completely ruined. So they, when the Cuban Revolution happens and Fidel gets into power, they take over everything. They steal everything from people. They just straight up took it. They didn't buy it from them. They didn't work out a deal with them, nothing. They just took it. And that happened to everyone in Venezuela as well. They came in and took it. I have a friend, Venezuelan, that they took his house and they said, hey, now this guy's gonna live in your house. And they just occupied his house. Oh, because he was here in the US. So, but still he had his house rented. But then the person that was rented, they get him out of there. The government puts their own people in there and they give him the house. And that's it. Here, you live here and this guy doesn't even live in it. So you should have this house. And guess what? That person probably can't maintain the house, and now probably the house is worthless and they ruined it, which is what happens. They don't know. Okay, you know, okay, too much of a rant. Went off on a little rant due to Jason's comment. This is a coffee show. Okay, and I really admire people like Omniel and others who puts the work to post videos regularly. I've been trying to do this. Now it's 3 videos a week, right? I do a Friday video at 7 p.m. unless I do the live at noon, and then it's the same video you have for Friday. And then I do a Sunday video at also at 7 a.m. And now I have the vlog channel where I post a video on Saturdays at 7 a.m. The vlog channel is just, you know, just talking about other things other than coffee. But there's a lot of coffee happening there too, because coffee is just a big part of my life. So a lot of the vlogs deal with coffee, either going to a coffee shop or brewing coffee or something's happening with coffee. So yeah. But you get to see a lot more about Miami and different neighborhoods. And I walk around the neighborhood and film things and that kind of stuff. But thank you, Ken. Appreciate it. That he can't believe the embargo is still in force. I'm not even sure how much that has to do with anything, Jason. That's what they say and they tell people, but it really has not. I don't think it. If they were to lift the embargo, then the Cuban government would just end up stealing everything, and the people in Cuba would probably not see anything. They wouldn't see anything. It would just, the government would enrich themselves and whoever they want to maintain, the regular people and the working people and stuff, they wouldn't see a single thing. It just would be the same thing. I don't. Yeah, man, the communism is an idea that sounds good on paper, where equal for everyone and the same. But the thing is that if humans were already at the level where I'm hoping we evolve to, right, where we all treat each other like brothers and sisters, let's work together, let's make this happen and help each other and worry more about that than greed and having more than the next guy. And you know, then because what happens is they start stealing everything. It just, they don't know how to run the thing. They take it and put some dude there to run it, or dudette, you know, and then they don't know what they're doing and they ruin the whole thing. For example, transportation in Cuba, like you take the bus. The regular bus maybe charges you, and I'm throwing this number out there, okay, I don't know, okay, exactly what it is. But let's say American money, like US money, it costs you a quarter, 25 cents to go from Havana to Oriente, which is really far. It take you forever. And they charge you 25 cents. Do you think you can maintain a system where you're charging people 25 cents? No. So what happens? The bus has no tires. You can't maintain the road. The roads are useless. The bus, after a while, doesn't work. And now you have no buses because you don't know how to run the thing. It can't be like that either. You can't just give everything away because then you can't maintain it. This doesn't work. You have to charge something that makes sense, where you're going to make a profit. People will be incentivized to work and to do something to make a living, and charge enough for the products to where you can purchase more products. You know, okay, this bus is going to last me 10 years. During the time, it's going to need this much maintenance. It's going to need this many tires. It's going to need, and figure this thing out so that you can charge a fare that makes sense. Because if you go to a private citizen to get, which is super common in Cuba, people don't have cars. So you go to a private person that has a business where they have a car, and usually because somebody sent them the money from the US or somewhere, because if not, they wouldn't have any money. There are some exceptions, okay, but for the most part, so they have like a Toyota Corolla, and then they've done the work. They know how to run the little business, and they figured it out. So then they'll charge you $50, American dollars, to go from Havana to Oriente. Okay, because that makes sense. Now the guy can run a business, and he can buy the tires and he can maintain his Corolla, so he can keep doing it. The government will charge you a quarter, but the bus goes 10 times and then it's broken down, and that's it. They leave it there on the side of the road. That doesn't make sense. But nothing makes sense in Cuba. They change the money, they devalue the money. The money means like they change it whenever they want. There's no rules. Yeah. How did we get into this? Man. All right. In Venezuela, it's the same thing. This guy came in and ruined everything. Ruined everything. He doesn't know how to run anything. All right. This is true. Never view Cuba in that light, though. Thanks for the insight. And the bus has no tires. No, yeah. They just don't know what they're doing. So, that's what happens. All right, you know what? I'm going to finish my coffee, and then, wow. This is like an hour and a half stream. Yes, I'm proud of myself. This is my longest video ever. I hope that it gets at least like 10 views. Cheers to, it doesn't even matter, because this has been awesome for me to hang out with you guys, and sharing this experience and this time means a lot. Oh, you know what? For Jason, I think you're the only one left. Maybe it's Kent. I don't even, Kent, maybe he gave up. He tapped out. Kent, you tapped out? Okay. Just for Jason, then I'm going to turn the camera around at the end and show you a little bit around the apartment. Nobody else going to see that. You have to stay all the way to the end to see that part. All right, hold on. Cheers. Not acidic at all. Just, there's a pop of acidity a little bit, not overly acidic, well balanced. By now, this one was room temperature. There is some berryness. I could sense that. And on the aroma, not on the fragrance, but on the aroma, there are some tea-like, herbal tea-like qualities. I'm not getting too much of that on the taste, but that could be me. That could be me and my experience and the level where I'm at. I'm surprised my laptop is still going strong over there. It hasn't tapped out. I think my laptop lasted longer than Kent. Kent tapped out. No, let me think. No, Kent's back. He didn't tap out. This has been fun. Okay, it's been fun hanging out, guys. Goodbye for now. See you Sunday. Okay, let me turn the camera around for those of you that stuck it out to the end, if any. So, show you a little bit of the other, looking the other way before we go. By the way, next time I'm going to try to set up the phone a little bit higher, because I was chopping off the top of my head and stuff. But anyway. Okay, the overhead lights, I like keeping them off, because I don't like the way they shine directly on my bald head, right? So, but I have these lights that I've used on some of the videos now. They're up here in the front illuminating what I'm doing. This is the little setup that my wife has. It has different looks throughout the year. This is our Christmas look this year. Then you guys saw over there. These lights are you see there, the amber one and the blue one that kind of give a nice glow in the back of the little backsplash in the kitchen. And then this way, let me show you this way. We still have the Christmas tree up. My wife's look set up here. By the way, in the vlogs, there are little snippets that show you a little bit of this view of the apartment. So, stay tuned. Stay tuned for the vlogs if you want to see more around Miami Lakes and Miami and, all this stuff. And this is the way to the bedroom and the bathroom and stuff. The washer, dryer, and the ACs over there. But this is a really nice apartment. I love it here. There are perhaps some changes coming this year that I talk about in the vlogs that I already recorded. We put it back on here to say goodbye. But yeah, give you guys a little bit of look. You're going to get some little spoilers and some little insights into like my life during these lives. So moving forward, they can't all be an hour and a half, but it's what happened today. I have a feeling sometimes this could be even longer. Once I got more people like watching, I could totally see it, because I love this. I love sharing with you guys. It's so awesome. But I think for today, I'm wrapping it up. I got to clean up. And today I didn't go to the gym yet. I want to go now when I finish here. It's 1:35 p.m. I haven't had lunch, but I think I'm going to go to the gym before lunch. I'm starting my dieting phase. That's something that I also talk about on my vlogs. What else? But yeah, I think for today, that's it, man. Thank you for hanging out with me. This has been absolutely fantastic. And I look forward to the next one. So I don't think I have the first Friday in February should be an open slot for me in my YouTube schedule. And that should be the next live. I don't know if it will be at 7 p.m. or at noon, but by then maybe I already figured out how to put an announcement so you guys know. But thank you for being here with me. I appreciate it. Remember to give the video a like. All of you guys are subscribed to the channel, so there's no need to say that. Check out the vlogs, and today's Friday, so if you're on the vlog channel, I'll see you guys tomorrow. If not, I'll see you guys on Sunday. But thank you.